are live. This is Coffee, Canvas, and Conversation. I'm Barbara Pierce, and we are sponsored by Unique Euphony Publishing. Now, today is going to be very interesting, especially for me. I can't swim. So we're going to be talking about swimming today. We're going to be talking about sports today. We have this awesome young man on there. He's only 10 years old. He's already running times on the track as the high school. Could everybody mute your right now? Mute your mics because I can hear in the background until I ask you to come on. Everybody mute your mics. Okay, very good. So, and he's going to be talking. So he's already awesome. He's already an awesome at 10 years old athlete because he's already running times as the high school kids are. And when I looked at those times and looked at what he was doing, I was like, whoa, this is totally awesome. So I want to invite Mason. Mason, what's your last name? I'm sorry, I can't see. I got glasses on, but I can't see. What's your last name?
Dozier,
that's right. But listen, everybody calls him Racing Mason. Isn't that cute? Cute.
Yeah, but sometimes my dad said he watched me.
Oh, really? Well, that is awesome, Racing Mason. So, Racing Mason, we want you to tell a little bit about yourself because I don't want to tell all about you. I want you to be able to tell yourself like you did on the break. Tell us everything about yourself.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So I run track and I'm running high school times and like in 4th grade elementary, and I like play a lot of sports. Like I play football, soccer, track, basketball, and that's all. And before I run, I put God first because I just want to give a shout out to my grandpa, but he's up there in a good place. So I gave people a shout out because they supported me, and I did a snack drive to them so I can say thanks for what they did to me for my community.
That is totally awesome. Now, speaking of community, Mason, I know that you've been doing some things outside of your athletics. I think you've been like feeding the homelessness or whatever. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, ma'am. So I really feel bad for the homeless because they probably don't got nothing to eat, and I just feel really bad for them because one time I saw
wait a minute, Mason, hold on for a minute. There's an echo that's coming from there. Is somebody else on the same on here too? Because and nobody else have two devices going on, right? Because there's some echoing going on. Do you hear that? Okay, if nobody else has another device going on at the same time, we're good. Okay, go ahead on, Mason. I'm sorry. About the homelessness.
My snack drive. I'm sorry, but yeah, I had to help homeless people because they probably hungry and they probably don't got enough money to eat. So I gave them free snacks, like chips and other things.
And a lot of people don't understand, Mason, is because we all should be helping each other, right? And the homelessness needs more attention, I guess, than anybody else. Now, a lot of people say, well, homeless people be out there and all they're going to do is take the money and stuff and drink it up and stuff like that, or drug it up or whatever. And that's not our judgment. That's between them and God, right? So if you know somebody's hungry, you give them something to eat. So one of the things that I've been doing that not even my family know in the last 3 months that I've been here is they don't even know that I actually go to the bank and I get money, Mason. I get like single dollar bills and sometimes $5 bills, right? And there's this one block, it's called Vine Street here. And there's homeless people that actually walk between the cars and they have their signs up and they say homelessness. And what I do is I give them a couple of dollars. So because they probably hungry, So you're doing a fantastic thing. And it makes me feel good. And it probably makes you feel good too to do that. Now, I'm a broke person. I don't have a lot of money, right? But I still feel so good when I help the homeless. And my daughter knows that when we were in Georgia, that we always help, homelessness. They had a House of Job there. They had Tent City there. They had the Liberty Theater that was putting sandwiches together. So we always help the homeless because you never know. You may be homeless one day. You just never know. And the way our economy is going now, we all may be homeless one day. So that is a fantastic thing that you are doing, Mason. I am so proud of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody have any questions that they want to ask Mason?
So this is Jan, and hi, Mason.
Hi.
Okay, so I want to ask you, what school do you go to, and what grade are you in, and what's your, I guess, your average for running? I don't know how they're supposed to ask that question, but how fast do you run?
I go to Key Elementary. I'm in the 4th grade.
Okay.
And my top times are in the indoor in the 60 meter is 8:67, and in the 100 outdoor is a 13:56 seconds, and in the 200 is 27:86 seconds, and in the 400 is 1:02.98.
Wow, and that is awesome. Go ahead, Gary.
Mason, that's a lot faster than I can run. I can barely run at all. But anyways, when I was your age, I ran like you did. But who are some of your favorite athletes that have inspired you? Do you have any?
Yes, sir. So I really want to be in the NFL when I grow up, and
Wow.
I'm doing that. So my favorite are Saquon Barkley, Noah Lyles, and the Jackson Dart from the Giants quarterback, and Georgia Always.
Wow, you got a lot of heroes there. You are awesome. Yes. Anybody else have any questions to ask Mason? So Mason, I was listening to your times, and I was trying to compare them to my times when I was running, or boys that was running with me at that time. And your times are so much faster. But then I had to think about something. I had to stop to think about why your times were so much faster. Well, because they changed the measuring system from the time when I ran track and field to how you're running. When I ran track and field, they was yards. Yours is the metro system, right? So the times are different and the distance is different. Like, in other words, I ran the 440 yards, when now they run the 400. So it makes the 400 is less distance, of course, than the 440 when it comes to English and metro system. And so it makes the time seem a little faster, right? But that's just interesting how they changed things over the years. And they didn't have the 200 then. You say you run the 200, they had 220. They had, it's just everything's different. We didn't do a 60 outdoors, but we did a 60 indoor track and field. Have you ever ran indoor track and field?
Oh, yeah. Because I go to Birmingham. I think it's complex thing in Birmingham. I run there like every time. I think I got another track meet on the 24th, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Of this month?
Indoor track meet.
Okay. So, yeah. So we used to have to go. I'm from New Jersey. Oh, next Sunday. Okay. I'm from New Jersey. So we used to go to New York, to the New York Armory, and run indoors. And they used to have the 60 then. And that's the only time I used to run the 60. But watch this. I wasn't a sprinter. So my coach would have to give me a handicap. And a handicap back then, to me, is called cheating, right? But a handicap is where they would put you up a little bit. Don't laugh, coach. Don't laugh. I know you know what I'm talking about. They would put you up a little bit ahead of everybody else, right?
Yeah.
And I would win sometime, and I would think, oh man, I won, but those poor people that in the back had to try to catch me. I was like a rabbit. So I don't know if they still do that. Do they still do that, Mason? Do they still have what they call handicap? Well, thank God, because mentally it's not good for you. Because it makes you think you're a champ, and you're not a champ. They called it a handicap. That was my indoor track. And speaking of track and field, I want you to stick with that. Even though you want to be in the NFL and you want to do this and that, try to stick with track too, because track, they give out some awesome scholarships.
Oh yeah, because when I be in college, I'm gonna be in track, and if I try to be in the NFL, I gotta be in college for like 3 years to go to the NFL.
Right, because that's how I went to college. I went to college for a 4-year scholarship of track and field. I also had got accepted in Hunters in New York. I got accepted in Howard, and I got accepted in Rutgers, which I wish I should have went. But I went to Delaware State, and so they pay for your whole. They'll pay for your whole 4 years. So stick to whatever sport you're gonna do, so that they can pay for your college. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions for Mason?
I think you're doing a fantastic job at your age. It, and the other part too is that a lot of the stuff, or some of the stuff that you're doing in our time, an older era, but I think it's just fantastic that you and that your folks, your parents are behind you, friends, neighbors, probably everybody on your whole block is looking forward to your growing up and being a monster man, if you would. So we commend you that at this point, and maybe even though they're not track people, but you're giving such a hand to the helpless persons, which is another attribute, which is just fantastic. I just keep
Yeah,
saying.
it is. It is. It's awesome. And Mason, I had a little historical moment in my life about track and field. Since we're talking about track and field, I was the captain of my track team. I went to West Side High School in Newark, New Jersey, and I was the captain. And I used to always watch the guys run because the girls were sorry. I was like the best girl on the team. Other teams would try to get me to come to their schools, and of course I loved my school, so I didn't want to go just to run track at another school, right?
That's
They
me.
would always say, "Why don't you come to Weekway and run?" No. I wanted to be the star at my school, right? So I was so good, and I'm not bragging, but I was good. Is that the coach of the boys team asked me to go with them to a track meet to run with the boys? What? So I was the first girl. Now the track teams are integrated now during this time, it seems, because we're talking about 40-some, 50-some years ago. But they're integrated now. They all run for the same coach and everything. But then the girls ran on the girls' team, the boys ran on the boys' team. So he asked me to come to a track meet to run against the boys. Do you know that I was actually beating the guys? So that's just tell you how sorry those runners were back in that time. But I did that a couple of times, and it seems like, they didn't like me, because I was a tomboy and I was beating some of the guys. I never came in first, but I would always come in like third or fourth, which was awesome to be running against guys, right? And it always made my time better because you had to run even faster when you're running against the guys because we don't have the same strength as the guys have, right? But anyway, Mason, we want to thank you so much for coming on. Oh, go ahead,
I have
Gary.
one more question.
Okay, Gary, and then Jan.
Mason, do you have any warm-up exercises or any music that you listen to get you ready for your runs when you run?
Yes, sir. So my favorite music, it's by Travis Scott. It's about 4x4, and I do my stretches. It's like windmills, and then we do backwards, and then we do toe kicks, and after that we do toe touches, and then we do A skips, B skips, C skips, and then we probably just do a little run exercise, and then we go into our workouts.
Thank you, Mason. You are an inspiration to everybody. You are awesome. And I tell you what, many, many years down the road, you are going to inspire others that are following in your footsteps.
That's a fact.
That's right. That's exactly right. Jan?
Okay, so I know that you're an athlete, but I want to ask you about your academics and what's your favorite subjects, and just how are you doing in school as far as your academics?
Yeah, I'm doing good in school, and my favorite things I just love to chill in the house because I'm an indoor kid.
Okay.
And I just sometimes now that we got a trampoline in our backyard, I just like to play outside in the trampoline. And my friend, 3 weeks ago, he probably teach me how to do a backflip.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So
When
you like
say
all
that-
subjects then? Okay.
That's right. That's when you talk about you went off to academics into backflips. That was really interesting. But anyway, when you said that, I thought about when I was coming up in the not ghetto, but when I was coming up in my neighborhood, they used to do a lot of backflips and front flips. They used to have old mattresses outside, and they always used to be flipping and carrying on. Do they still do that, Mason?
On trampolines?
No, mattresses. Come on.
No.
No, they don't do that because I live in a neighborhood where kids.
An apartment. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, they ain't gonna have no mattresses there. And the bad thing about that is that kids would get like different diseases and stuff from those mattresses because some of the mattresses was thrown out of places that you wouldn't even let nobody sleep on there. And so we had a thing called Tatiston, which was a sort of like a wingworm kind of disease. Y'all remember that? You older people remember that? And so
Yeah.
they put on mattresses.
I
My
remember.
mother, yeah, my mother wouldn't let my brothers do it because I think one or two of them did come out with some stuff like that. But who's Mike S?
Yeah, they don't do that.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore. But anyway, okay, somebody's trying to get in that we didn't invite. But anyway, Mason, I want to thank you so much for coming out. If nobody else has any more questions, you've done a fantastic job today. We want you to come back again and maybe be one of our little co-hosts and talk about all the things that you're doing for the homelessness and and what you do for people, period. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just hang in there because you may want to ask some questions to the coach. Well, he's talking about swimming, and then you could talk a little bit about your swimming. Then, okay. Okay, so guys, we're gonna go to some of our sponsors right quick, and then we'll come back. First of all, I want to talk about Unique Euphony Publishing. So if you guys have a book to be published, or you have one that somebody else that you know want to publish a book, please have them to give me a call. Everything is on the crawler. Our number is 706-577-3197. Give me a call, talk to me. Not only now we're publishing books, but we are also doing merch. And so, by the way, my daughter is back on now. And let me see. Hold up. Let me see. Let me get her in here. Okay, so my daughter's back on now while we're talking about merch. Latavia, can you talk a little bit about your business and what you do?
I wasn't prepared, but I guess I can.
You're the daughter of Barbara Pierce. You're prepared.
Okay, I guess. My Facebook is Craft24 LLC, and that's also all platforms of social media is on there, so you can see some of our work that we do. But we do T-shirts, we do engraving, which is probably one of the major things that we're doing right now. Make children clothes. Oh no, what else?
They do
I wasn't
tongue-
prepared, Mom. You supposed to let me know these
No.
things.
Yeah, I wanted to surprise you so you can show how smart you are. You're doing a great job. And I was also telling that you're now Unique Euphony's marketing director. So we have a lot of authors that are right on here right now, a lot of writers on here that we're going to need merch. And so we just wanted them to know that they can call you because these are all the things that you do. And I was also telling them that you also created models for me for my jewelry, which is awesome, which we're getting ready to do a new website and everything. And there's so much more things that you do. You do bags. You do plaques. I can tell you some of the things that you do.
Well, actually, hold on. Let me verify that. I don't actually do the work. I'm the business manager of the business.
That's right.
Of the business.
She's one of the co-owners of the business, and she's
I am the business manager.
But you always have people doing the technical stuff. And his name is Mr. Damon Martin. He does a lot of the technical stuff in the background, but she does do all the clothing, and she does the embroidery and the tags, and she does all the other stuff that she's going to be doing for Unique Euphony. Now, starting off with us being that on March the 21st, we would have our first book tour that year, and it's also our anniversary. So she's helping me get that together, thank God, because there's no way in the world I can do all this stuff by myself, especially the merch. And speaking of merch, I want to go back, since we are a little early for Mr. Mathis, I want to go back to Mason, Latavia, while he's on here, because he has some merch. Did you show your merch? Mason, did you show y'all your merch? That's his t-shirt. Latavia, look at that.
That's awesome, baby. Who's doing your merchandise for you? Are you doing it?
Mason, who's doing your merchandise?
My dad is doing my merch.
What? I didn't know he did that. Okay, well, anyway.
That's awesome. Let me see. Stand up again. Slowly. Stand up again. Okay, that's nice.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Wow.
So, Latavia, if we ever need any help, we got to call Brian.
I know, right? So, where do you get your merchandise from? Are you selling it?
Yeah, and people at my school, they saying they want some. But I said, yeah, I gotta pay $5. And then sometimes people be saying they faster than me. I said, oh, you're faster than me. Wow. But then
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so is nowhere
Latavia.
that we can buy? Is it somewhere that we can buy your merchandise from?
you can probably y'all can probably call my dad and he can probably send it to y'all.
I'll
Yeah,
get that
let's do
information
that.
for you.
Okay.
Make sense. See, this young lady that's talking to you, my daughter, she actually grew up with your father, both your father and your uncle, Dedrick. She grew up with them. We lived right in the same neighborhood and everything. In case you didn't know that, okay. So Latavia, I will get Brian's information from you, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Anything else, Latavia, you want to talk about?
No, that is all.
Well, we want to thank you so much for coming on. We want you to hang in there because we definitely go ahead.
Just want you to know that you have a beautiful name, Latavia. Let's see. I ordered 2 pink out shirts from you.
Yeah.
3.
Yes, you did. Thank you so much, Gary.
And I have another friend. He's interested in merchandise for his band that he's in. It's called the Samuel Isaac Band. And so I'm gonna get in contact with you real soon, and we'll hopefully order him a T-shirt, and that says the Samuel Isaac Band on it, and hopefully he can get his merchandise from you as well.
I can say one more thing.
Okay,
too.
thank you so much.
That's all.
Yes.
Go ahead, Mason. Thank you, Gary.
I forgot to say this, but I went to the Junior Olympics and I went to the Nationals. And last year I got Triple Crown.
Wow.
But this year I got 3rd and 2nd, and I got 7th because I was like really tired and I went swimming. I was going swimming.
Uh-oh, here we go with the swimming. Here we go with the swimming coach.
But I went swimming, so when I woke up in the morning, I was like, my legs got tired for swimming.
You don't
Well,
always have to
congratulations.
Yeah, we know that you are a star. Sometimes you don't win. Sometimes I didn't win. Sometimes I came in 2nd and 3rd. Sometimes I came in 1st. I had a lot of goals, but hey, sometimes you don't win. And there's always somebody out there faster than you. Always.
And I want to give a shout out to my mom because she ran track too, but she was a long distance runner.
Yeah, that's what I
Okay.
was. I was a middle distance, long distance. I ran cross country. My daughter that you're talking to on here, she also was a runner. She also was a state champion in long jumping. So yeah, she was a runner too. I started her when she was really, really, really young. And so yeah, we're all athletes on here. But we definitely want to get to talk about that swimming when we get to Mr. Mathis, because we want you to tell us your swimming stories, because me and my daughter can't swim. But anyway, hang in there, guys. Let's get ready to go to Mr. and I call him Coach, but Bernard Mathis, because we want him to definitely have time to talk about everything he needs to talk about when it comes to swimming and saving our lives.
I'll tell everybody, I just finished a paper on instructions on how to not drown, basically. How to protect yourself if you fall in the water, how to protect yourself. And I've made it super simple because you can actually practice at home the maneuvers in your bed, on the floor. Most people who drown, like I read an article about this from the Speaking Out News a few weeks ago, which is in your hometown, Gary. And they were just talking about how the number of Black people in particular have drowned in the Huntsville area. And I'm trying to figure out, well, everybody I talk to and tell them that they said Huntsville. I mean, well, they do have, Muscle Shoals, and they're surrounded by water and stuff. And so what I've technically developed over time, and actually sat down and did some writing on it as to how to save yourself. And I'm not fighting against Red Cross. Red Cross is the big boy in town, been around pretty close to 100 years. I'm a true advocate of Red Cross. All my certification came from Red Cross. So I'm not throwing mud on the wall. I'm just doing some things a little different than Red Cross. When I was 14, I got a chance to go actually become a YMCA counselor at the day camp in New Jersey. And I thought I could swim. I'd watched Tarzan. I watched Tarzan, and it always intrigued me that the natives would get right up on him, and then all of a sudden he'd just run away from them, basically, just swim away from him. And I'm going, gosh, this guy's mystical. and so I finally figured out that on the show what they would do is that they would show him swimming, and all of a sudden he'd speed up, and they'd actually take a mixer and put it in the water, because you see all this water jumping up, and I'm going, man, he turned the burners on and just ran away from folks. And so like I said, when I went to this day camp, I was a junior camp counselor with the 5-year-olds. And so I'd be in the pool working with the book, and kind of working with the little 5-year-olds, and all the older camp counselors. They would be down in the deep end, and I'm going, okay, well, I'd like to be down there with my buddies, and not down having to stay down here with the babies. So I went down and I asked the assistant one day, what would it take to come down where they're at? And he says, well, Bernard, if you can swim across the deep end, then you can come down here with us. So I said, oh, I can do that. So I took this deep breath of air, and I jumped in, and I went off. And I got about 2 feet from the other side and ran out of gas. They pulled me out and told me, no, you got to go back down with the babies. And I said, okay. So I got my little Red Cross manual out, and as I was teaching them to blow bubbles, I was blowing bubbles. Everything I was teaching them, I was practicing myself. And so I finally got to go down with the big boys. Went down with my peers,
the real swimmers,
with the other swimmers. I got it together, nothing going down there. So then I went to, when I went off to college, I thought I was just still a superstar. And so the coach, and I went to Hampton, and the coach says, he said, well, in order to get an A out of the class, you have to swim the length of the pool. And I said, oh, okay, fine. So I jumped in and went on down to the end, and came back and said, well, thank you for the A, coach, and and everything. And I can go sign up for some more classes. And he says, oh, no, you can't leave here. He said, you were ragged. He said, you were awful. I said, oh, okay, no problem. So I didn't like it, but I was stuck. And so by the end of that class, I was swimming much better. I took some more classes. My sophomore year, I got my water safety instructor certification. And I felt really, really fantastic. And the primary reason behind that, because there were some guys on the swim team that didn't get it, didn't qualify. And those guys were serious swimmers. But every time they had a practice session at night, I was there. I would get mad when they wouldn't meet. So there are 10 different strokes in swimming. Yeah, they're 10.
Do we need to get a pencil and paper out?
Yeah. The American crawl is the basic. That's the one you need without getting all excited. But I swam 9 of the 10. I could teach the 10th. And then when I went to grad school, I taught special needs kids. My minor was special education, so I taught special needs kids. Then I got the job at Alabama State University, and I was the head swimming coach and head athletic trainer there for 9 years. And then when I left them, then I moved into the insurance industry. In fact, you see that sword up above me there? There were 63 people with company that I was with in the United States to win that sword.
Wow.
I was number 63.
Wow.
Yeah, they were mad. There's people highly upset
Too
with me
bad.
winning it, but it was too bad. They told me the secret as to what I need to do to win.
Yeah.
So
But that is awesome.
yeah. So, but I've been I love the insurance business. I enjoyed swimming, teaching swimming. Then I got a little bored, and then something kept bringing me back. And so, as I say, I'm in the process of writing a book on teaching Blacks to swim. That's going to be the title: Teaching Blacks to Swim. And God says,
I don't mean to stop you, but now that you brought that up, why is it so important to teach Blacks to swim versus teaching people to swim?
well, primarily because we are in swimming deserts. That's the primary. And there's so many mystical things about us in swimming. Like I was talking to a person one time, and they had taken a class with a person, and they said, "Well, the reason that you're not swimming well is because your butt's too big."
Yep, that's right.
There's all kinds of little crazy things, and so we are a little different because we have not had access primarily. That's been our biggest problem, because recently I was talking with a young lady from Jamaica, and she could swim. Well, she could swim, but her head was out of the water. Okay. Which is fine. Based on, if I was in Jamaica, I'd want my head out of the water to make sure I see the sharks too. but what people, when your head is out of the water, it weighs 11 pounds. When your head is in the water, technically your face is in the water, it weighs about 2.5 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that's a pretty good difference. Also, most people who drown, this article here from the Speaking Out News out of Huntsville, the 6-year-old, but they were just talking about the number of Blacks that drown per year in the Huntsville area. And I'm going, okay, the biggest thing that happens, and that's why I've written this paper on survival, how to survive. And what happens with most people is the first thing they do when they are pushed in the water, fall in the water, however they get there, and they're non-swimmers, they usually scream out and blow all the air out of their lungs. So they wind up, when they finally hit the water, instead of having 4 to 5 pints of air in their lungs, they only have 1 between the mouth and the lungs. So it doesn't take long. And even better than that, or the next frightening piece of it, is not only do they not have air, but they have their eyes closed. So they have no idea where they are in space. And so, unfortunately, those two factors together, unfortunately, help them to drown, or cause them to drown. And so what I've done, based on my time of teaching persons to swim, is teaching you how to open your eyes. And it's really simple per se, because if you go over to, if you were to go over to your sink right now today and wash your face, your eyes are closed, and they're closed tight so that you won't get any soap in your eyes. Okay. But if you were to go over to the sink and not be washing your face, and the water's just in there in the sink, either in the sink, kitchen sink, bathroom sink, bathtub, you fill it up about 5 inches so you can put your face down in it and open your eyes. That's the hardest thing to do, is take a deep breath of air into your lungs. Like when you go to the doctor says, let me check your lungs, and he tells you to hold your breath. He's telling, when you first started off, you were like that, jaws poked out. And he says, no, hold your breath in your lungs. So finally we hold our breath in our lungs. He checks us and he says, okay, your lungs are fine. That's because you got air in there. There's no obstructions. Okay. And so if you were to just go home after this and fill up the sink, put your face in the water, take a breath of air, put your face in the water, and open your eyes. Now, sometimes for some people, they will open their eyes and then they'll open their mouth too. Okay.
Drown.
Yeah. Traumatic. Yeah. But if you were to go and practice that, I didn't talk to you anything about anything else today, just by holding your breath and eyes open, you would know where you're at. And you could stand up if you're in a pool.
Yeah, right. Like you told me, right? Well, listen, I want to stop you for 1 minute. I want to ask Rayson Mason. Rayson Mason, do you have any questions to ask the coach? Because you said that you're a swimmer. You have any questions? I think
Yes,
you gotta come up.
Yeah, I like to swim, but sometimes when it's indoor, I don't like to swim because it'd be too cold. But yeah, when I swim, yeah, it's like fun.
Are you a good swimmer?
Yeah.
Well, I have a question for you. When you're swimming, is your face in the water?
Yes, sir.
Your face is in the water? You have your face down in the water?
Yes, sir.
When you swim?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
How many strokes do you take before you take a breath again?
Like how many seconds?
Yeah. How many seconds before you take another stroke?
20.
20 seconds?
Wow, you can stay in the water a while.
He's and let me tell you what you're doing wrong. Okay.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
What he's done is he's filled his lungs up with air. He's gone to 20 seconds, and now it's time to breathe again. So he'll pop up. Let me go back. Let me back up one more time. When you take your breath of air, do you come up like this, or do you turn your head to the side?
I turn my head to the side.
Okay. Where's your jaw when you turn it to the side? Is it up out of the water?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, your head's supposed to stay in the water all the time.
Yeah, because what's happened is the water is behind your ears. Your face is too deep in the water. The water is behind your face. The water is here on the back of your ear, and the water should be in front of your ear.
Oh, in order to do that, you have to keep your face in the water.
Well, his face is in the water. It's just too deep.
I got you too deep. Well, that's probably why I'm almost about to drown.
Yeah, because you got water on the back of your head instead of in front of your ear. See, when the water's on the back of my ear, I got to do that.
Yeah, you got to bring your head back up.
I got to bring my head back up. Okay. When I'm doing
Gary,
it with my
Gary,
ear,
can you swim?
I can, but it's been a while, and the last time I swam, I got a very bad ear infection. But I swim like a fish. Yes, but I swim like that too. You know, I make sure I come up with to take a breath, and I turn my head to the side. So yeah, I'm a good swimmer.
Yeah.
Oh, good. It's good to know that, so that way you can protect me if I'm drowning.
I will. Yes.
That's when you need cotton. That's when you need cotton in your ears to keep the water out.
Oh, really? Is it cotton or is it foam?
Cotton. Either one will do it.
Okay.
But cotton is just as good as the foam or the earplugs. It's just
yeah.
Either one. I mean, any of those will work, But
So let me ask you this, Coach. So at my age, is it too late now to start learning how to swim?
I've taught some 80-year-olds, so
Get out of here.
yes.
Oh, I still
So
got
you,
time.
so you got time on your
that way
hands.
I still have insurance.
But see, that's what I'm saying. What even the practice of putting your face into the into the sink.
Mm-hmm.
When you get back in the water, you'll know where your head is supposed to be because you practiced it in that sink.
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of cool. Practice it in the sink because you can't
Yeah.
really drown in the sink, right?
Can't drown in the sink. Well, when you put your face in the sink
Mm-hmm.
and you're holding your breath in your chest, you want to count. Well, for an adult, you want to count 1,001, of course, and you're trying to get to 45. You won't get there initially, but as you practice, you'll get more and more. You'll get used to the tolerance or the calling for air and those things, and then once you master that, then you go to the next phase.
Okay, so I'm putting the water in the sink. I'm putting my face directly in the water, right?
Up to your ears.
Up to my ears, and then I'm saying 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, right?
Yeah.
And as long as I can go at that time, I may only can get up to 20, I may whatever, only can get up to 15. But then the next time I practice it again, and maybe I can get up to 25, and then the next time, so and so on. Okay, I'm going to do that. Mm-hmm. And then if you don't see me on the podcast the next week, I actually drowned in the sink.
You committed sideways. But a lot of people, and that's what this paper that I have. In fact, I was telling you that's what I'll be passing out when I go to the meeting
on
Monday. And then once you get the eyes open, holding your breath part done, because it's the next part is to learn how to turn over.
Mm-hmm. So
you're in the water, face down. Now let's talk about the turnover part. How do I get back to air? I get back. I get back to my air position, and so technically, it's very simple because this morning you were face down on your pillow, okay, and you turned over to look up at the ceiling,
right?
Okay, that same movement, if you were in a swimming pool, you do the same movement.
Oh,
okay. You do that same
turn over so you can survive. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Gary, did you have something to say?
That is really good information, Coach Mathis. I appreciate that. That is amazing. And I'm not sure if you've heard, I know many years ago, Rick Burgess said he's with Rick and Bubba. They've since gotten their separate ways, but Rick's younger son, Bronner, drowned in a swimming pool. Rick was away preaching at a church conference, and his young son, Bronner, drowned in a swimming pool. So these lessons and information is very crucial.
Very That's right. That's right. And that's why we have them on here. I'm going to ask Rayson Mason again. Rayson Mason, do you have anything you want to ask the coach about swimming? Because, we don't know everything. Even though we can do it, we don't know everything.
I was going to ask one more thing. Can y'all, follow me on social media? And I can say, I don't got nothing else about swimming.
Well, I need you to do me this then. When you get your dad's phone, when you get off, make sure you text me all the information so that next week we can put it on the crawler. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
See how the crawler is going across and it's telling you about everything that's happening here? You see that blue going across there? If we put it on there, see, it's got your name on there. It says Special Guest Mason. Right. So if you give me that information, we'll make sure we'll put it on the crawler so that everybody can get your information. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. But do you have any other questions that you want to ask the coach before I go to a small break?
Does he do swimming lessons?
I don't do personal swimming lessons. What I do is if you call me, then I'll answer your question and tell you what you're doing wrong.
Mhm. And that's good enough for me because anything that can help you keeping you from drowning, any kind of information, because right now they got stuff on YouTube and everything that can tell you different things, and you don't have to be in person, but you just listen to the information. So yeah, that's really good, Mason. Very good question there. And so we also have Coach Mathis. We'll also have his information come up in the next few weeks too, so people can be able to call him to ask him different questions and stuff, because that's why we have in this platform, right? So what I want to do is go to Miss Jan. Miss Jan, you have any questions that you want to ask before I go to my small break?
No, I don't have any questions, but I did enjoy hearing about all that. It's very informative.
Right,
Well,
right.
okay.
Okay, so Mr.
Go
Matthews,
ahead.
before you go back to closed up with your rest of your message and everything, I just want to say this, guys, this is very important, is that this coming Monday, we will be in Montgomery. I don't have Mr. Matthews, do you have the time?
I don't. I didn't see. I couldn't see it on the flyer.
I'll go back to it before the end, but we're going to be in Montgomery because we're there supporting Sasha. You see her book is on here. Sasha Malia Smith has written 2 books, and one is called The Dark is about stranger danger, and the second one is called Food Fight, which is not, when I first heard her say that, and she sent me that book, I thought she was talking about people in the auditorium or in the cafeteria throwing food and fighting, but it had nothing to do with that. It's actually about a mad scientist. And so you want to get that book. I don't want to tell you anything else about it. So if you're in the area, in the Alabama area, in Montgomery on this coming Monday for the Martin Luther King birthday celebration, you want to stop by her book signing and get a signed copy of one of her books, because she is already doing it now. She was interviewed by our journalist last week, and this is funny because she said that I'm not really thinking about being an author when I grow up, but I want to share with other people on how to do it. So I thought that was good enough for me. Now, the other one is Samaya, which is only 9 years old. She just turned 9 just a few months ago. She's also Mason's sister. And she has written a book called My Mommy's a Porcupine. And she loves that book. And I love that book. And so she'll be there also on doing her book signing. So we want to be there to support these kids. And if you can't be there, we want to go to www.uniqueeuphonypublishing.com. That's our website. And at least order the book, so I can at least tell them that you weren't there in person, but you did order the book. Now, if you order the book directly from them, of course, then you will be able to get a signed copy. But if you order it from Amazon, you won't be able to get a signed copy. But if you order it from the website, you can get a signed copy, okay? Because she will send it to you directly. So think about that, ordering her books, because we want to encourage these kids to keep writing, So that would be this coming Monday in Montgomery. I'm excited about being there. I've been to Montgomery several times. I love it. It's a historical city, and I just love it. It's one of the places where Martin Luther King actually preached that when he first started preaching. It's also where Rosa Parks' house is at, even though she wasn't born in Montgomery. She was born in Tuskegee, but that's where her museum is there. So Montgomery has a lot of historical things to see as you walk up and down the streets downtown. So if you guys are going to be there, I will be there to meet you. If you've never met me before, I'm actually flying there, flying out tomorrow, going to Georgia, then driving to Montgomery, then coming back to Georgia and flying back to Florida. So I got that big old turnaround coming up this weekend. But anyway, guys, I just want to say, let's support our young people. Now I want to go back to Coach Mathis and have him to do whatever closing he wants to do. And and then we're going to go ahead into our day, because believe it or not, I'm just beginning to work. You know, I still have to work today. Coach Mathis, you're back on.
Okay. Well, like I said, there's a lot of things that because I've been in the Black arena technically so long with the swimming, and I hear all this gunk, then that's part of the reason that I've wanted to do a book for so long. It's kind of like I left the arena, but the arena keeps pulling me back. That's about it.
You sound like the gangsters. How they keep pulling me back.
Yeah, because I go places and I was in Hawaii once, and guy at the end of a pool, and guy came down and asked me, where did you learn to swim like that? So, like I said, when I was in college, my one of the swimming coach came to me and asked me to be on the team, and I told him I'm not that good. I don't have that kind of speed. And he said, no, I want you to swim the 500 and the 1,000. And I said, the 500 and 1,000, coach, ain't no way I can swim that long.
Yeah.
But the 500 is 20 laps straight. You start and keep going to number 20.
Wow.
You take an hour's break. Then you go back and do the 40, the 500, I mean, the 1,000. 40 straight up, and then you go home. I'm also a certified scuba diver.
Wow.
Yeah, there are only 2 blacks.
Now the difference. I just want to cut you off, but the difference between the scuba diving, everything is under the water, right?
Under.
You don't come at the top at all. Maybe I could be a good scuba diver then. I don't have to worry about trying to coordinate.
You still got to coordinate your legs and stuff to come back.
Never mind. I thought I'd try it.
No. And you can actually the kick for swimming. You can actually lay on the floor and practice it.
Okay.
To get the rhythm.
Because I talked to my brother, which was also a swimming instructor, also a lifeguard and all that stuff. And I was asking him about it. He was telling me the same thing. He said, I can take a chair. He said, I can take a chair and do it, like, balance myself on a chair and learn how to do it. And I was like, really? But I never tried that.
Well, to get the hand-foot coordination, it's 2 chairs.
2 chairs. Yeah, he said 2 chairs.
Yeah, 2 chairs. You put them in different backings, and then you can do the hand rotation. You work on the kick laying on the floor. And the kick should be you see a lot of people kick their feet and the feet are coming up out of the water. They're pushing air. Yeah, that's why they go.
I've tried it. Like I can get the security, what you call the floats, and I can get on the floats and push myself this way, all that. But when you move that float out the way, I'm going down.
It's technically coordination.
And Coach, I'm not scared of water. I mean, when I say I'm not scared of water, because a lot of people can't swim because of the fear of water. It has nothing to do with that, because how I learned that is that my husband was hired to do a deck, out on the water in Georgia. And as they was doing the big part where the boats are actually parked at, he said to me, do you want to go out there? I think my husband was being funny at the time, but he said, you want to go out there and do the deck out there in the water? And I'm thinking to myself, now supposing that deck falls, I can't swim. But guess what? I took the paint cans, I took the brushes, and I went all the way to the end, and I painted that whole deck probably better than any man can do. And never thought about the fact that I can drown if I fell over in the water. Never thought about it. And I had to lean over and do it because they had let the water go down a little bit. Like the certain times of the season, they let the water go down. And I painted every last one of the legs and the side and the whole thing, and never thought about the fact, because most people, if they scared of the water, they wouldn't even went out there. It was a long deck. And they would have never even went out there because they would have been afraid of that. So I never had aquaphobia, but I think about it now. I suppose I had fell over because my husband couldn't swim either.
Understand. Well, this kind of normal.
Yeah.
That's kind of normal.
Yeah.
Usually, we've gotten those fear factors from our youth. My relatives don't do a lot of swimming. I mean, they're not to the position that I have.
Right. And also, I'm not afraid to be on a boat. As a matter of fact, the guy that we was doing it for, he had the motorboats there, and he said, "Y'all want to go on a ride?" And he said, "I know you don't swim, so I'm going to give you a life jacket to put on." So I put on my life jacket. My husband put on his life jacket, and he took us. It was fast. All the water was like right there. We sitting like where you put your hand in the water. It didn't bother me. It was fun because my mother had started doing that in New Jersey at Lake Apacon is what they called it. I don't know if Lake Apacon is still there, but my mother used to take us on those little boat rides and stuff there. You know, they take the boat ride. So I think because she put us in the water when we were so young, I never had a fear of water. I just never could swim.
Yeah. I mean, and that's basically normal in the black household. That's about normal. You know, I took a class years ago, and the guy was telling me that one of his clients was sitting at the beach in a chair. Tide came in, turned the chair over. She was covered by about 2 feet of water. Then the tide went out, and after that, she went and took a swim class. And then some people make it through, fine, understand, and then others don't, because like you take the star on Cosby.
Oh yeah, that's so sad.
It was, but then he probably got caught up in a riptide, and he was fighting the tide, and the tide won. When if he had gone across in the water, he would have moved out of the tide, and everything would have been fine. But a lot of times when you're taking a swim class, people don't talk about riptides. They kind of mention it a little bit, but they don't give you a good explanation as to how to get out of it in case you're in
right.
it.
And that made me think about some childhood friends that I've had. And this is a sad story. Every time I think about this, is that the little boy, okay, the family went on to a beach, a trip, and the little boy couldn't swim, but the brother that was there that was in the military could swim. And what happened is the little boy went out too far, and I guess the tide took him out further. So then the brother went out to try to save him. He got caught up in the tide, and they both died.
Yes.
He trying to save his little brother. They both died. And it was the saddest thing that, and I don't know if it's because his little brother was fighting him and making it more difficult for him to save him. Because a lot of times when people can't swim, they fight, and it makes it difficult for the survivor.
Yeah, that's a piece of it too. In fact, I was older article, 6 family members, they went evidently to a pond for a picnic or something, and 6 of the family members, 13 to 17 years of age, drowned.
Oh, wow.
And they drowned primarily because none of them could swim, but they were trying to save a relative. Each other, and lost 6 kids in one day.
There's a lot of stories like that out there. So when you brought up about Malcolm Jamal, I was like, and then there was conspiracies after that, of course. They had all kinds of conspiracies that maybe he was murdered and, that kind of thing. But we don't know. All we know is he went out in the water and didn't come back alive. Right. And so I think this is very interesting. In our closing, I want to say thank you so much, Coach, because you have brought up a lot of things. And I think, like you said, I think you're never too old to learn how to survive, how to take care of yourself. And so I'm going to think about that again and taking up some swimming lessons because I see a lot of older people in the water trying to do swimming lessons. I was just kidding about that. I see them in there. They're doing all kinds of aerobics and playing volleyball and everything while they're learning how to swim. So I'm going to try doing that this summer. I'm going to try to, when my great grandbaby is taking her swimming lessons, I'm going to try to see if I can get on the senior side. And take mine, because I think it's something that we all do need to learn. And you'd be the person that I would call and say, okay, I got a question to ask. Yeah. So I want everybody on here, if they have questions. Mason, that means you too. If you have a question, we want you to be able to call Coach Mathis and ask them, because you are an athlete and you want to get better in whatever you do. And I want to thank Gary for coming on every week faithfully. Yes. And Miss Jan, I want to thank you for every week coming on faithfully. Mason, we will have you coming back next month on our athletic day with Mr. Mathis, okay? You can be like our junior kind of instructor.
Mason, thank you, God. And right now we just bless Mason, God, in your name, God. I thank you, God, that he is a light and an inspiration to everybody, Lord Jesus. God, I speak out favor, victory, your protection around him, God, as he runs. Angels, thank you, Lord, for your presence in his life. Use it mightily in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Gary, for that. And so, guys, I got to get ready to go to work. It is our ending, so I'm going to end this stream. Don't go nowhere. Watch this.